Hey YouTube, we have Leonard here. Bringing guys and gals, Kanojo Okarishimasu. We're doing the review portion of chapter 216. So, for everyone who's not aware, my previous channel, Leonard GG1XX, was removed for copyright purposes, specifically with Rent a Girlfriend. So, what I'm going to be doing, and I'm experimenting, is that you can find my live reaction per the usual on Twitch, link description box down below. I never everyone again because Twitch is, in my opinion, just a better platform. Come through on the Twitch side, check it out. You'll find my full live reaction. But what I'm going to try and test out is just do like the review portion, a separate video, post it on YouTube, no panels, anything like that. See how it goes. But basically in this chapter, all I will say is that I got very hyped towards the end because I'm so happy that Chizuru is finally standing up for herself. She's finally standing up and saying like, Mami, enough is enough of all this. So just quickly go through, and I have like the chapter right next to me. But the way the whole chapter starts off is that you see Mami and Chizuru, they're walking off. They're walking through the hallway, and it gives us the sense that Chizuru basically has agreed to Mami, has agreed to like maybe the payoff, etc. We find out that she didn't accept the money, but she is going to go with Mami to talk to Grandma Naogumi, mainly because she's trying to find any way, shape, or form to try and stall this conversation, figure out ways to like stop Mami as she like stalls for time. Sadly, we see that's not going to be the case. Mami, because she's trash, has gone above and beyond with phone calls, etc., to make sure that the meeting is going to take place. So that's kind of what's happening in the beginning parts of this chapter. I'm going to leave the Kuri and the Ruka stuff for the end just because it's important, but it's not necessarily as important, I feel, as the Mami and Chizuru stuff. So the next thing that ends up happening with Mami and Chizuru is Mami starts going off on her rant. So we already know specifically with, we already know specifically as it relates to Mami, she's trying to like twist things towards like, oh, this is Kazuya's fault. We know that Mami is very self-aware of Chizuru's potential feelings for Kazuya, and I think as a result she goes out of her way to really make it seem like Kazuya's the one that's at fault. Kazuya did stuff wrong. It was you, Chizuru, because if she wins Chizuru over, she can bring an end to all of this, and then she could always end up setting up Chizuru in a separate moment. But she starts bad-mouthing Kazuya. She's just saying like he's delusional. She says that he couldn't hope to have a chance with you. And I think where she was doing this before, obviously, and I think Chizuru felt some type of way, but where in this chapter I feel like Mami went even, like, for me, like just too far, is where she starts talking about Kazuya's family. She makes a reference to the wedding ring. I'm going to read this portion, everyone. She says, whoa, so this is it, referring to the wedding ring. Kind of an old design. She continues, I have to say, I'm shocked. Have you thought about the look on her face when you tell her? Referring to, I think, Kazuya's grandmother or the mother. But really, it's partially her fault too. Who gives a wedding ring to someone she's known for less than a year? Come to think of it, he said the same to me. It was back when we were dating. He asked me to meet his grandmother. Nagomi-san's not a bad person exactly, but there's something screwed up with the whole Kinoshita family. I think that she went too far here. We know that obviously Kazuya and Chizuru have their thing going on, but Chizuru specifically cares about Kazuya, and she cares about his whole family. His family has shown her kindness, generosity, love. Granted, yes, we know that this is all based on the lie that the two of them are together, but she's been shown nothing but love from that family. And in a sense, Grandma Naogumi has essentially treated her like her own granddaughter. So I think from Chizuru's perspective, this was just completely out of bounds. She probably wasn't expecting Mami to say this, and you can see even by her reaction, like this angers her. But then Mami continues. She insults the family, and then she goes back to Kazuya. She says here, there's no way you haven't noticed, right? The way he looks at you is almost like he thinks he has a shot. That's why he's been at this for so long. No, he's breaking the rules. The way I see it, it's obvious you two are in different leagues. You're gorgeous for one, and he's dreaming about getting with an actress, but guys like him exist. Once they get an idea in their head, they sink into delusion. People like him, they don't know the hard truth of the world. They think that they can make anything come true if they dream hard enough. Sure, you can call him idealist or dreamer, but, and this is where I think she just goes too far, he's really just an idiot, right? So that's what Mami has to say to Chizuru. And as I was reading this, I was angry. I was just like, Chizuru, you have to say something. Because say what you want about Kazuya and the fact that, hey, maybe you should have confessed earlier. Maybe this, maybe that. We all have different opinions on Kazuya as a character. The one thing that we cannot deny is that Kazuya has been nothing but good to Chizuru, especially in the middle to later portions of the series. But he has always been good to Chizuru. He's always looked out for her. He's always cared about her. He does stupid things. We all know that. And Chizuru has definitely saved him several times before. But think back again to the movie arc. Think back again to how he tried to become a true support for Chizuru. How he went out of his way, unselfishly, to try and help her to make her dream come true for the sake of her grandmother, because he cares about them. The fact that when Chizuru had her breakdown, Kazuya was there. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to handle the situation. But rather than being overly focused on, now's a good time to confess to Chizuru, he just stood there. He let her rant. He let her get her feelings out. He didn't know how to handle the situation, but he was there. I think from her perspective, she can't, how can I say this? Chizuru can't say enough about how good of a person Kazuya has been, at least in their interactions. And I think that's been the gateway to why she cares about him to begin with. Whether she likes him romantically or not, I happen to think that she probably does, or at least is undecided. But he's been a good person to her. So for Mami to say all this different nonsense and to like call out his family and then call out him, I think enough was enough for Chizuru at the end of the day. And we see the chapter end off where Mami goes into what we call dark Mami mode, because Chizuru doesn't follow her. Chizuru does not follow when she says, let's go to grandma. She's like, Chizuru-san. And Chizuru's just like, what you said just now, take that back. And she has a very resolute face on her. So I'm assuming that we're going to get next chapter now that Mami's in dark Mami mode. She's fully going to confront Chizuru. She's going to get to the point right now where she's taking the gloves off and she's going to show her true personality here. She doesn't care about Chizuru. She's not trying to make Chizuru happy. She wants Kazuya to be ruined and she wants Chizuru to be ruined as well. And if Chizuru's not going to go along with her plan, then she's going to try and nuke the whole entire thing and threaten Chizuru even more. But I think this one needs to happen. Chizuru right now has to show a front to where she's going to fight against Mami and not take what she's saying standing down. I do hope at some point she then reunites with Kazuya in the next chapter or two. They talk things through and they settle their differences, and then afterwards they confront Nagomi along with Mami. Mami's probably going to get to Nagomi first, but then I hope that Chizuru and Kazuya together put up a united front, and then ultimately Kazuya is the one who speaks up against Mami and then also reveals the truth to Grandma Nagomi and his family for that matter. So we'll see what happens. That was like really the big part of like this whole entire chapter. I think that was very important that I want to get out. The Kuri and Ruka stuff is pretty self-explanatory. I will say very quickly on the part of Kuri specifically is I think he deserves some praise here. I think other guys in that situation, the way that Ruka was saying that they would react is probably honestly how they would react. Would they be justified? Maybe. I wouldn't like it, but is what it is. But Ruka was expecting that. Think about Kuri's character development throughout portions of the series, especially when him and Kazuya finally got together. He rented Ruka specifically because of the fact that he felt jealous of Kazuya. Kazuya has a beautiful girlfriend, things are going well in his life, and Cody looked at himself just like, I'm a loser, like what's happening in my life? And that's why he felt compelled to even like get into rental girlfriend. But if you remember how that whole entire dynamic with him and Kazuya ended, he realized that he was the issue. He realized that number one, Kazuya is not as great as he thinks he is, but even that aside, he had to improve how he viewed himself. The fact that he made these errors, he made these mistakes, it's not Ruka's fault, it's not no one's fault, and he has to become better as a person. And I think what he said this chapter about earnestly caring about Ruka and her safety, making sure that she was okay, and saying that, hey, I'm glad I met you. If I didn't meet you, I don't think I'd be a better person the way I am right now. And he learned a lot from that whole situation. So I think Cody was being very genuine. I don't think he anticipates Ruka liking him. I don't think that he thinks that whatsoever. But it actually might work out in Cody's favor that Ruka might actually be endeared to the fact that he showed honestly like to be a stand-up guy. And whether or not they actually end up together, who knows? I don't necessarily ship Cody and Ruka. I think that's I don't like it per se. I think it would just be a way to get Ruka out of the picture. But the fact that I think she develops a level of respect and maybe can earnestly become friends with Kuri because of the way that he reacted here, I would like to see that. I think it'd be good. So that, everyone, let me know how you thought about this review. It's the first time I've been doing a legitimate review, I guess, for Rent a Girlfriend, minus just my talking after the reaction. Let me know your thoughts in the description box down below. Again, follow me on Twitch, where you'll find all the original live reactions. Or I shouldn't say that. Where you'll find my live reactions to the most up-to-date chapter. Like the video if you like the video. Comment in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts. Anything I can improve, let me know. With that, I'm Leonard, and I'm out. Take care, everybody. Peace.